Hi everybody, this is Michael Hildebrand and I'm your host on the Sleeptrust podcast, where I'm talking about how to gain back trust in your ability to have a superb sleep again.
In this week's episode of the Sleeptrust podcast, we are going to talk about our mindsets. Or better said, we're going to talk about how to get into the mindset to bring us back to superb deep resting sleep. And I know this is not a sexy topic. We all want to start to practice and do things for our body, nutrition, mind to let us find back to superb sleep. But I assure you, without the right mindset, you are just going to waste your time. So it's definitely worth taking the effort. And this one is for you if you are already taking a lot of, let's call it random action that is exhausting you because you're trying a lot, you're confused by all of the sleep tips that are out there, and you're getting frustrated because nothing is really giving you the results that you want to see when it comes to your sleep and your energy levels. Then working on the mindset, what we're going to do today is going to bring you energizing results, giving you the clear foundation to take directed action, and you're going to be rewarded with sleep and energy results. So this one is very important. Essentially, you can imagine this to be, and the mindset to be, or working with the mindset like learning the letters in the alphabet. Nobody really likes to learn the letters, right? We all want to read words or sentences or books, get the wisdom out of the books, and nobody wants to put in the effort up front. But we've got schools that teach our kids, that teach us essentially to learn these letters before we were able to read. And this is exactly what we want to do here. If we want to read our book of sleep and find back to superb sleep, we need to learn the alphabet. And for a couple of you out there, you've got your alphabet in place, that's great. But I know a lot of us don't, or just have a couple of letters in place, but not the entire 26 letters that we need to be able to read the entire book of sleep. So for today, I broke down my top 3 picks when it comes to our mindset and what we want to take care of in regards to finding back to superb deep resting sleep and high energy levels. And the very first step is our faith, our belief in our natural capabilities to fall asleep quickly and to get that high quality sleep at some point in the future. So my question for you is, do you believe that you will be able to fall asleep quick and get that high quality sleep that you deserve to become and that you are seeking for? Do you believe that you can get that done? For some of you, the answer will be yes, I know I'm going to get that done. Why are you asking this to me? For others, it would be, no, I don't really believe that. And this is very important. We need to believe that we can achieve a goal. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And if you're somebody that has a problem to see yourself sleeping at some point in the future, and you don't have to know how to get there, it's just the gut feeling. Can you see yourself find back to superb sleep? Do you know that you will achieve this? And if you're somebody that can't see that, that's okay. At the moment, it's just about acknowledging that this is the case and also acknowledging that you want to get into that headspace. Because if not, your unconscious mind is going to work against you no matter what you're doing, and you're not going to reach your goal. And that's neuroscience, by the way. There's also a quote from Henry Ford, which is quite famous, which goes like this. It doesn't matter if you believe that you can do something or not, you're always going to be right. And, if you don't like Henry Ford or the business aspect, you can also look at all religions out there, essentially, that talk about belief, faith, and you will find tons of stories that back this up. But now, how does this help you? So first off, as soon as you acknowledge that you need to get into that headspace, you can do something. That's point number 1. And point number 2, you can influence what you believe. So what you believe today doesn't have to be what you believe tomorrow. As a kid, your beliefs were different than they are nowadays. As an example, you might have believed that Santa Claus comes to you every year. And now you would probably agree that this is not the case. My daughter used to believe that Amazon belongs to me, probably because I did so much ordering on Amazon. I don't know. But nowadays she knows that this is not the case. So our beliefs are a matter of change. So the really important question to answer here is, how can I become that person that believes that I can fall asleep with ease and get that high quality sleep, feel good again? And the answer is very simple. Write this down. Write down how you are going to feel when this has happened. Write it down in present tense. I am so thankful that I am able to fall asleep with ease. You pick your words and write down how this looks for you, how it feels for you. Write it down in a couple of sentences and read it every single day. Best read it first thing in the morning, last thing at night. These are the things that are very good when it comes to, I'll call it reprogramming our minds. This is neuroscience now. We're going to repeat things. We're going to create the habit of having a new belief, seeing ourselves in a different way when it comes to our sleep. And it's super essential because as soon as you believe that you can achieve this, we're going to figure out ways and what to do in regards to the sleep tips that you have been testing lately, or maybe have not yet, but will be testing to improve your sleep quality. So get into the belief. That's the very first super important point. The second really important thing that you want to consider doing is to measure what you're actually doing. So are things helping you to achieve your goal? And to do so, take a sheet of paper and a pen and write down things on a daily basis. Track what you're doing. We typically think that our minds know if things are working for us or not, and that they'll tell us. But I can assure you, our minds are tricking us constantly. So don't get into that trap. Start to measure what you're doing and see your results. And this is, by the way, the exact way how every system that heads towards a certain goal works. Like, take your navigation system. We use that in our cars, right? We always program our destination. We would not expect our navigation system to bring us somewhere if we don't know the destination, right? Point number one, our navigation system locates exactly where we are standing right now. That's what it does in the background. It gets in touch with the satellites and it calculates where we're standing, and then it measures where we're going constantly. And if we deviate away from the course, from the route, then it will tell us to correct our route. So measure what you're doing. There's a tool that I handed out to you a couple of weeks ago. It's the Sleeptrust Sleep Navigator. You can download it for free. Just visit sleeptrust.eu and you'll find it there. Use the search box. That's probably the best way to find it quickly. And I'm also going to hook this up to the show notes of this week's episode. The third and last thing that we're going to cover here together is the purpose. You want to have a deep, meaningful purpose in place that will carry you through the changes necessary to reach your goal. The purpose is just like fueling up your motivation, and it will take care that you take all the necessary actions required to reach that goal. If you just think about the letters in the alphabet for a moment and forget that you probably already know them, if I would ask you to learn those letters, because after that you are able to read, that per se is not really motivating. That's not a purpose. But if I tell you that as soon as you know the letters, you're able to read a book that you can read, and after you read that, you will know exactly what to do and how to act, and you are going to become the person that will always be happy. You're going to be rich, wealthy, everything is going to flow into your direction. You're going to have good friendships, relationships, loving relationships. You are going to conquer the world after you learn those letters. And now you're motivated to do the things necessary that you need to do to learn those letters, right? Because you want to read that book as quickly as possible, because after that, your life is going to change. And that's what you want to do here. Figure out exactly why you want to sleep better. What is your core driver? Is it your health? Is it your relationships? Is it your job, your wealth, whatever? Figure out what exactly is going to drive you through the necessary change. And that will make it so much easier. It's like sailing with the wind instead of against it. And just to bring this into context again, the mindset is the fundamental block when it comes to the coachings that I do, when it comes to the systems that I share with you, like the Sleeptrust Sleep Map. It's the fundamental block. I do not work with clients that don't have their mindset right because it's a waste of time, right? After that, we're going to practice things for our body, nutrition, mind. What can we do to actually sleep better? And then we're getting things habitual, getting things into the autopilot. But it all starts with the mindset. If we have that right, the other things are just going to be so much easier. And nobody likes to do the groundwork, right? Nobody loves to learn the letters, but it's essential if you want to read books. So we're all going to walk through this together, hopefully. And today I share my top 3 tips with you. A couple of weeks ago, I had a wonderful interview with Anna. And Anna is somebody like you and me. She was faced with sleep problems, only sleeping 2 to 3 hours a day. And you can imagine how she was feeling. So when I had my chat with her, she openly shared how she found back to superb sleep. First off, she had a very strong belief that she could figure out how to find back to superb sleep. She made health her number 1 priority and wrapped everything around that. And you wouldn't do that if you don't have the firm belief that this is going to lead to a result. When it comes to measuring, Anna was not that strong, but she did write down things and must say you don't have to get 100% right. It's about getting most things right that will serve you well when it comes to reaching your goal. And the third thing that we discussed was the purpose. And Anna had 2 really deep purposes. Just to give you a feeling what a deep purpose is. Anna was going around bringing her kids to school, and she was afraid that she would get involved into an accident because she was so tired. So it was her responsibility to take care of her kids. And that's kind of the deepest purpose that you can give a mom or a dad, is to protect your own kids. So that's kind of one very deep purpose. She also had a second one. She wanted to be there for her partner in a better mood and in a better space to nurture a loving relationship. But I think the more deep reasons you figure out for yourself to find back, the better it is. And if you didn't listen to that interview, check it out. It's you can see it on YouTube, on the YouTube channel of Sleeptrust. We had it as a Zoom session. It's also there as a podcast, so check it out. So the reason why I shared this story of Anna with you today is first off to get you inspired, to help you to believe that your goal might be closer than you think, that you can find back to superb deep resting sleep if you do the right things in the right order. And the second reason is that you don't have to get 100% right to reach your goals. But as always, it's up to you if you want to put in the effort to do the groundwork, or if you want to skip this part and dig into the sleep tips right away. Maybe somebody will come over and hand you a book full of pictures and you won't need the letters. But if you do not want to rely on random circumstances, I recommend that you walk through those 3 points, get them right, build your foundation, and you're going to figure out how to find back to sleep with consistency. The one thing that I am super excited to share with you today is that Sleeptrust is creating a new Facebook group for like-minded people like you and me, where we can come together, share our stories, help others, and I'm going to be there to answer questions too. You're also going to get a lot of value and special content that we're only going to publish in that group. So definitely check out sleeptrust.eu, and you're going to find a little Facebook icon in the top somewhere and in the bottom. Click the Facebook icon and it's going to bring you directly to that group. It's a closed group, so everything that we discuss in there is not to be seen from others outside of the group. So it's a private group there, and you're invited to join that group. And I'm sure that this is going to be a fantastic thing. I want to see you all in that group. So definitely check out sleeptrust.eu. And on the top of the website and the bottom, just click on the little Facebook icon and it will take you to the group. I'm looking forward to see you in there. And with that, let's wrap up this week's episode of the Sleep Trust podcast. If you want to sleep tight, you better get your mindset right. First, take care that you truly believe that you can achieve the goal of sleeping well in future. Secondly, measure your progress. And the third thing that you really want to have in place is a deep, meaningful purpose to motivate you through the necessary changes. And that's it for this week's episode of the Sleep Trust podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself and that you tune in next week. Until then, have a superb sleep.
Hey there, and thanks for listening to the Sleep Trust podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to get further information on this podcast or material that will help you to gain back your sleep trust, please check out sleeptrust.eu. That's sleeptrust.eu, where you will get lots of information around sleep. And here comes some legal stuff. Everything on this podcast is my opinion only, so do not take it as an advice, as I am not a doctor, nor have I considered your personal situation. If you feel that you need medical advice, please consider getting an appointment at your doctor of trust. If you want to give me any kind of feedback on this podcast, feel free to email me at podcast@sleeptrust.eu. I hope you tune in again next week, and until then, have a good sleep.